The Global Gender Gap Report seeks to measure how well countries are performing in terms of the gender gap on economic participation and opportunity, political empowerment, health and survival, and educational attainment. And so the highest ranking country in the world, which is Iceland this year, has closed about 83% of its gender gap. So it's important to note that even the highest ranking country hasn't quite reached full equality. At the very bottom end of the rankings, we have once again Yemen, which has been at the bottom for the last 5 years in a row and has closed about 46% of its gender gap, so less than half. In the very top 10, we have, of course, the Nordic countries at the very top. We also have countries such as Lesotho and Philippines. Others in the top 20 include the United Kingdom, Germany, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. We have for the first time in the top 20 the United States, up several places from last year, and this has been driven mainly by gains for women in terms of economic participation as well as political empowerment. As we're able to compare countries with their own relative performance in past years, we find that out of the 114 countries that have been covered since the very beginning of this report in 2006, about 86% of these are actually moving forward, and about 14% of these are deteriorating. Among the climbers, there are certainly countries that are at the very top of the rankings, countries such as Iceland and Switzerland, that continue to hold those positions because they continue to improve relative to their own performance. However, what's very encouraging is that at the very bottom end of the rankings, countries such as Saudi Arabia that rank extremely low are actually making some of the fastest progress on the index. When we combine the data for the 134 countries that we're covering this year, we find that over 93% of the global gender gap on education has been closed. Over 96% of the global gender gap on health has been closed. On the other end, however, only about 60% of the economic participation gap has been closed, and only about 16% of the gap on political empowerment. So if women are now starting to be as healthy and as educated as men, it makes sense to now be ensuring that they're part of the economy and part of decision-making processes.